Thank you, Mr President. My question is to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Minister Payne. Duncan Lewis says China is attempting a takeover of Australia's political system with foreign interference and espionage. My question for the minister is simple and direct. Is China a threat to Australia's political system and national security?
The Minister for Foreign Affairs, Senator Payne.
Thank you very much, Mr President. I thank Senator Lambie for her question. As colleagues would know, China and Australia have a deep and long-standing relationship which is underpinned by the development of a comprehensive strategic partnership between our two nations. We have the highest levels of engagement and respect within the comprehensive strategic partnership and its key platforms. I think the observations that the senator has made in relation to the differences that exist between us are differences which we endeavour to manage with respect, acknowledging that we are very different systems. We are very different culturally and politically, and we have, as we all realise, elected to a democratic parliament, very different approaches to a number of key areas of governance. That said, though, I think it would be remiss of me not to also acknowledge the depth of the strength of the Chinese-Australian diaspora, for example, in this country, which brings enormous richness and support to our nation and goes back over centuries, a century at least, Mr President. And for those of us who are heavily engaged in this area, in strategic terms, we work very closely, but we make our differences clear in a respectful and appropriate way. I appreciate the concerns that Senator Lambie has raised, but they do not lead to the conclusion on my part that she has drawn.
Senator Lambie, a supplementary question.
Thank you, Mr President. I'll attempt to rephrase my question to the minister to answer directly. Has China conducted foreign interference operations against any Australian targets?
Senator Payne.
Mr President, I think Senator Lambie has been part of this chamber for long enough to know, and part of the relevant committees for long enough to know, that the Australian government never comments on intelligence matters.